Hello, viewers, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. We continue to take a look on what's happening in the nation Zimbabwe and beyond our borders. The ousted Gabon president has quit politics and he calls for the release of his wife and son. This is what is happening. It has been widely reported by Zim Live, and we need to take a look onto what really transpired or what is really happening there. So, this is the picture of Ali Bongo and his wife. This is the former president of Gabon, Ali Bongo, and his wife. But the way he was removed from power, it was embarrassing. And he lost dignity, he lost power, he lost everything. His wife has been in prison. His son has also been in prison, and they are facing some charges on corruption, embezzling public funds, etc., etc. So, what is very important is to note that he has left politics. So, the report says Gabon's deposed president Ali Bongo is announced he will quit politics a year after he was toppled from power by a military coup. And in a statement, he said, "I wish to reaffirm my withdrawal from political life and the definitive renunciation of any national ambition." This is what Bongo said in a letter addressed to the Gabonese people. The 65-year-old also called for the release of his wife and son, who are in detention awaiting trial on corruption allegations. It's not clear whether his statement follows any negotiations with the military rulers or if he is hoping that by agreeing to quit politics, he will secure his family's freedom. Bongo suffered a stroke in 2018, and his health was a major source of concern for many in the build up to the 2023 presidential election. The army seized the power last August, shortly after Bongo was declared the winner of the election, which was disputed by the opposition. He had led the oil rich country since 2009 when he succeeded his father, who had been in power for more than 40 years. The family had strong links to France, the former colonial power in Gabon. The coup, led by General Brice Oligui was greeted by celebrations at home, but was condemned by regional and continental bodies as well as France. A week after the military takeover, the deposed president was released from house arrest, but or he has remained in the capital, Libreville. General Ngema has so far taken a conciliatory approach towards the deposed president, saying he is free to go abroad. But in his letter, Bongo said these movements remained restricted and subject to daily surveillance. And he says his visits depend on the authorization of the military, is isolated from the outside world without any communications and without news of his family. So he has called to the end of violence and torture committed against his French-born wife, Sylvia, and son, Nordin, and said they should both be released. His wife and son are being held in pretrial detention on allegations of embezzling public funds. Ms. Bongo is facing charges of money laundering, forgery, and falsification of documents. She has not made any public comment on the charges. Her lawyer, Francois Zimmerey, last year criticized the detention and was quoted as calling it arbitrarily illegal. Bongo said both his wife and son were helpless scapegoats, adding that his decision to quit active politics also applied to them. The military authorities have not commented on Bongo's statement but have denied previous claims they were torturing members of his family. Bongo and his family have been accused of enriching themselves at the expense of the nation during their decades in power, um, an allegation which they deny. So, if you look at what is happening, if you look at this report, it's a lesson to those in power today. It's a great lesson for those who are ambitious, especially from the ZANPF people or from the family of President Mnangagwa. Whatever you do right now, it will follow you in the future. You know, look at Robert Mugabe. how you removed him from power. Look at how powerful Robert Mugabe was. Robert Mugabe chandaiziva tiri mukombi, ukaona munhu akataura kuti Mugabe, kungoti Mugabe, waona vanhu vese vachinyarara, vocheuka, voti kutsunga rudzii kwawakaita. It was very, very difficult to criticize Robert Mugabe mumota yawakwira. Very difficult. But he was deposed. With all that power, he was deposed by the same people who were protecting and defending him for a very long time. So this, what is happening to Ali Bongo should be a lesson to the dynasty and to all ambitious people within ZANU-PF who are treating others as if they do not exist. I don't need to agree with anybody for me to treat him with respect, to treat him with dignity, to treat him well according to the laws and the Constitution of the Republic. I don't need to know you for me to do good. I just need to do good because it's necessary, and that is the best thing to do. So if you look at how the former president of Gabon is now living, he made a video and said, make noise, make noise, make noise. Nobody came to his rescue. People went into the streets celebrating that he was now under house arrest. He made that video and everybody celebrated. You know, even if you are powerful today, a certain day shall come when someone will make an attempt and will win to remove you from power. It will be one person who will be courageous to make that attempt and remove you from power. And if you are an enemy of the people, then it becomes a problem. Recently, I am forgetting the names, but I've seen recently, I think, 2 coup attempts on certain countries where the military tries to snatch power. But the people went onto the streets or into the streets to defend the president and to stand with the president. I have seen, I think, 2 incidents recently. It's because of how those presidents have been treating people. It's because of how those presidents have treated other politicians or political players. You treat others badly right now. You ban them from political participation. You jail them without a cause. You jail minors without a cause. What if you leave power today and your own minor grandchildren are put behind bars? How are you going to feel? Your minor grandchildren who have not committed any crime, how do you feel if they are put behind bars? Those are the questions you must ask yourself to say, I'm doing this. Is this right? No. So what if this happens to my own family? How am I going to feel? So I believe that we need to treat each other with dignity. We need to respect each other. We need to respect political views of others. We need to be able to agree and disagree with others without harming them. We criticize you because there is corruption. There is suffering in the nation of Zimbabwe. People are suffering. There is corruption. There is mismanagement. There is looting. Our people are benefiting nothing. Why should we come to praise you? We have to criticize you so that we do good. You do good. If we don't speak out, who do you expect to speak out? But when we speak out, you label us Western puppets. But when we label you Chinese puppets, then you become angry, agitated, and you threaten us. Let us do good. What we are seeing happening with these editors, you have normalized bad things or bad corporate governance in institutions. You have controlled institutions so much, such that when you send things, they don't question why you are doing it. You simply send things and say, do it as we say, do it as it is. But when things are now bad, you start to hunt them and you hound them. Muchitumira imimi zvimwe zvinhu munositi vakomana itai sezvatataura. Ava vakomana vakangopiwa chinhu vakaita sezvakanga zvataurwa because vatojaira kuti zvinhu zvenyu zvinobva kwazvinobva ikoko hazvipikiswe hazvibvunzwe. Vatozvijaira. So they simply allow it to happen like that. Now it's an embarrassment. You are now going after them because it's now an embarrassment. So sometimes we have to think about our actions. This is a lesson to those in power and those in leadership, to say you don't just shove things onto the throats of people and say, do this, do that, do this, do that, and you don't allow them to question, why are we doing this? Now that they've just done what you have said, you are now angry kuti vakazoisa rest in peace, but ndo zvavajaira, you see. So I hope it will be a lesson. I hope the issue in Gabon will also be a lesson to say, guys, idyai mari by mari, but kana makuzoripa pamusoro pemhosva idzodzo musazoti mavara enyu azarefu. Because one thing I want to tell you is power is temporary. You don't know the hour, you don't know the day, you don't know the minute, you don't know the second. You are going to lose power forever. So it is what it is. We continue to watch and see. Mary, hello, how are you? Thank you very much for coming. Munashe, thank you very much for coming as well. So let us meet in other episodes as well as other